everybody? Welcome to the Wingin It Podcast. Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
I am making it, Andre.
It's because it's the camera
this way,
right there.
This way,
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, it would be okay. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of.
I'm going where my body naturally says, and it's like no, the opposite direction.
Basically. Okay. So before we get started, I got a small little PSA. If you are a graphic designer and you're trying to grow your brand, please stop bothering me. Please, look, man. No hard feelings or nothing. But
yeah,
I'm on a budget and I can't afford you.
Yeah,
I just can't afford you. I'm not trying to be mean, but I can't afford you. If I didn't ask, if I'm not looking for anything, and trust me, I know how to put out stuff on social media to ask for assistance for stuff. If I'm not asking for it, I'll try to help you out if I can by word of mouth. But other than that, y'all need to learn how to. Y'all need to learn what no means no. It don't mean keep asking me. It don't mean keep asking me. It don't mean keep telling me that you can do this for me. I didn't ask you for that. So please just understand what no means, please.
Look, Mr. Beast employees out here trying to find work.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't find it from me. You're not gonna get it with me. You're not gonna get it with me. I'm not that popular. I don't know what else to tell you. This is not monetized.
I'm starting to think it's like they go and they just kind of scour, because I know between you, I know I've gotten it. Andre, I don't know if you've gotten it.
Oh, I did a couple times.
I know there's some content creators like that do like the tech content creation. They've said the same things, like, hey, look, I know you may not like my thumbnails, but I'm okay. Like I'm doing okay. And then even when somebody gives them a shot, it's usually like a very generic one that you see everybody doing. It's like, I'm cool. Like I'm good.
Like I ain't trying to be mean enough, but I'm like, this ain't monetized. I do this for fun.
Yeah.
This ain't my job.
Yeah.
I have a full-time job. This ain't it. This ain't it. So
but even if it was, you might not necessarily have it in the budget for that. So
just thank you, but no thank you. That being said, Jack, you want to talk about your release? The album is fire, by the way, because I rocked it when it came out Friday at work. Bruh, loved it. Y'all did a great job.
I appreciate it, man.
Take it away, sir.
Yeah, I mean, the album released August 22nd, called Control Chaos. To kind of give like a back story on where that title came from, I reached out to a cousin of mine, which ironically enough, he is like a graphic designer. He does all of that. He doesn't do it for money. He just draws randomly. Like one day he just randomly hit me up. Hey, I was bored. I just redesigned all the NBA team logos and they were fire. Like that's what he does. So he hit me up. Like I hit him up one day and I was like, hey, I was going to do a video game centered album. And it was just kind of after working with TJ the Gamer and VG Mobster and all of them, knowing that like majority of their content is video game focused. And, I was like, okay, well, let me try it. It's not something that I do on the regular, but let me try to do a whole album for it. After reaching out to a few people that were like, they wanted to, but they couldn't, or either they just didn't, or either they felt like they couldn't provide what I wanted. I was like, screw it. I'll just kind of make what I initially wanted to make and then mix them all together. So I just kind of kept that same title. If you've heard the album so far, it's still some video game titles on there, like the Mystical Ninja one. I even went into the anime stuff with One Piece. So that's kind of the route I went with it. And then just added some pieces to what was supposed to be released earlier this year. I turned into a mixtape called Until Next Time. Seeing as, for anybody that knows, I was going to kind of put the music down until my daughter was born and, get everything situated and then pick up the music next year. So yeah, I mean, pretty much came to this and reached out to Sandstorm, for production. He really came through big on the Mystical Ninja one, like big time on that one. So he came through on that. And then plus, I have him and KT and TJ and a whole bunch of people doing production for the next one. Because I just wanted to get away from my own production. Because sometimes you just want to like work with other people, see what they can provide you, see if you can do something different.
Have a little bit of a different flavor.
There you go. And even with that, they provided me beats that I've never made, and I'm like, I've never done this stuff before. So I mean, it's turned out some great music. But ultimately, with this one's been about like a year in the making. Just trying my best not to rush like I typically do. But this one came out good. This is just another testament of continue to put out products and continue to learn, continue to grow each time you go through. And it kind of all started with really Shadow, when he introduced me to TJ, and this is kind of just a culmination of like working alongside him and what him and his team over at Master Sword Music can provide, and just kind of spawning ideas and bouncing off of each other. And that's just kind of how this album came to be in the title. I was a little pissed off at first to where like the cover art I have for it is fine. That was my first time using like AI for cover art. But then once again, the same cousin, he was like, oh, let me try something out. And if I showed you what he drew up, I was like, you bastard. Like, I was like, I've already submitted it because the one he came up with was ridiculous. And I'm like, right. I didn't even think of that.
Use it for the next one. Use it for the sequel.
Oh, trust me. Like this one, like I created one for the next one, right? And then I was like, you know what? Just so I can avoid running into this again, do something for me. He was like, how fast do you need it? I was like, oh, it's not coming out till next year. You're good. He comes to me the next day, and I was like, I was like, man, when I say he whipped it up quick, and I was like, oh yeah,
like
we're doing this.
He just breathed it out.
That's all. I was like, when did you even like whatever? Like, and he freehand all of it on his iPad. So when I showed it to TJ, he was like, that's crazy. I was like, yeah. So I'm looking forward to this next one. I appreciate anybody that's already listened. I plan to put the videos up on YouTube so people can listen to it on YouTube. I know like people like my dad that doesn't do the streaming services stuff. He wants to go to YouTube and listen to it. So I'll put those up because this current distributor that I just left, they don't do it. DistroKid used to do it for me. Like I'll release the album, DistroKid to go and put it up there for me. To where this one, no, they don't.
Jack, your dad
What's
does
up?
know that YouTube puts all your music in the YouTube music thing. He does know that, right?
You have to understand, my dad is that person that's like he wants to be in the know, but he's just not gonna go and search for it. So
because they kind of do it automatically when you do music.
I was about to say, and YouTube itself is a streaming service. I got what you meant. I'm
saying, I just.
Oh, trust me. I know.
It's like YouTube is just simplified. This is where I'm going to go.
Right.
You put it here, I'm going to find it here.
Pretty much the only reason why I have a YouTube channel is because of him. Because he's like, oh, I want to just be able to click on like a page and there's all your music. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate you. So, even if I had one subscriber, I know it's him.
Even in the long run, though, just in case something blows up, people are gonna go to YouTube first anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. Yeah. by being a little bit roundabout, he also helping.
Yeah. Because I told him, I said that stuff, like so many programs, like they want to charge you or have you sign up for it, and I was like, okay, I'll just go to DaVinci and create it myself. That's fine. It's not like I'm doing like actual videos. It's just the album cover art and then the music playing in the background. So I was like, I got to get that put up. But all in all, man, I really enjoyed making this album. It was definitely something that I listened to 1,000 times over before it came out. Because it gets to a point to where once I get tired of listening to it, it's like, okay, it's time to release it. Like it's like I'm finally done listening to it.
Like, but I'm glad I don't see nothing else I need to change. I'm done.
Right, exactly. So
I'm waiting for that Dragon Ball track since you put One Piece on the. Since you put One Piece on the.
That actually just got finished yesterday.
I'm just saying,
So, and the crazy part about that one is, I told you a lot of production is going into the next one. So. The way I approached it was I did a sample of the Dragon Ball theme song, and then we already had one to where the Dragon Ball Z, I did like a Master Roshi theme like years ago, and I just never used it.
Cancel.
And then my son, and then my son made like he wanted to get into it, and so he was like, "Dad, can you help me sample the Ultra Instinct thing?" And so
that's a nice beat.
We went with that. So now I was like, okay, you know what? To avoid going to 3 different songs, I'm just doing like a beat switch. So it's literally going from DBZ to Super. Okay. And that was just doing all 3 of those. And I just finished that yesterday. So it was like, all right, cool. That one's good. It'll be released on the next one. Really, in all honesty, this next one is finished for the most part. But I did ask Sandstorm and TJ to kind of give me like 5 beats a piece. And I think I've gotten 3 from TJ, and then I've gotten 1 from Sandstorm so far. And so I'll see if, I can work with the other ones that they're set to provide. But for the most part, I try not to go over 10 songs for each one. But if not, then I mean, it's set, it's good to go. It's just a matter of when to release. But yeah, man, I mean, I really enjoyed making this one. This one was, the first time I reached out, because I'm not big on collaborating, because I'm very, very anal when it comes down to my music. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, cool. Let me reach out and see if I can get something else from somebody else. And, TJ and his wife jumping on the One Piece track was dope. Yeah, with her singing.
That one's in the workout playlist.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because I bet when I reached out, she was like, I don't know, but I'll try it. And I was like, I didn't need her to give me much, and she gave me exactly what we needed.
I mean, if you saw her One Piece Odyssey review,
yeah,
she does not like that game.
TJ mentions it in the song.
Yeah, she does.
One Piece Odyssey, I do not play. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all very strong about One Piece.
Y'all strong opinion about that one, boy. They do not like that game. They do not like that game. Shout out to Bandai Namco for putting another one on Switch that couldn't run.
I was like, and you chose the wrong one. Like out of all of them, you chose the wrong one to put on there. Because Odyssey, I wanted that game to be good, and it wasn't.
I was like, y'all couldn't put Burning Blood on there, something.
Something.
Odyssey.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, but either way, I mean, I think it came out to be really good. I'm just really crossing my fingers that the people I reached out to for this next one can get it done. And I know it's a matter of like, some of these people are like, I don't know, because I've never been on something that goes to streaming platforms. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, just put it out there. Let's see what happens. Gotcha. Don't question yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed too. So hopefully it all gets done. And then this might be the first time I've ever worked with my brother either. And that's something that we get cursed out about religiously. Like, it was because I started music well after him and my dad, and we have no music together. Like, me and my dad do, but me and my brother don't, because I think, like, for him, he's one that's like, we need to be in person, studio, blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with, hey, send me whatever on BandLab and we call it a day. I'll put it together. But he was like, nah, we gotta be in the same space. I'm like, all right, so we'll see.
You gonna work with your brother, and I don't want to hear no more about it.
Literally, it was like, why haven't y'all done this? Like, y'all playing around like we got like
I done brought both y'all in this world.
Well, it wasn't even him. Like, he was the one that got cursed out too. My dad got cursed out too, because he was like, "What is your problem?" And it was like a cousin of ours, and he was like, "What is your problem? Like, y'all all do it. Like, what's wrong? Like, y'all have the internet. Like,
y'all are here right now. I'm gonna put a mic in front of y'all. I'm gonna record this right now."
Hey, look, all you got, like, look, they just said, like, all you gotta do is just hop on a Skype call, just get this done.
That's it. And in reality, that's all you have to do. Like,
we're at church. We're at church. We don't have time to do this. I'm putting a mic right here. Y'all gonna do it right now, right at church. Like, okay.
Hey, look, we gonna use the choir in the background too. Go ahead. Had them do them. Had them humming. Like, you see that boy, you know he got a good voice. Use him too.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that we got hemmed up about that a while ago, and it was just like, okay, BandLab exists. Like, literally, I can go put something up right now, invite them both, because we all got profiles, and it's like all they gotta do is go lay down their verse, and I have it. So it's not like they have to send me anything.
They just gotta do it.
They just gotta do it. Okay. And so that's where the problem of like what's going on. So my dad hit me up. He's like, y'all know I'm getting too old for this. Like, I'm 50. He's like, I'm 51. I can't keep up with y'all, like, at this point. I said, just lay something down. That's fine. But he's another one, perfectionist. So I was like, all right, by the time this gets done, maybe my daughter will be about 5 years old. I don't know. And she's not even here yet. So like
several years into the future.
Yeah. So I that's where I chalk it up. But all in all, I appreciate y'all for listening and supporting as well. It was a lot of, repost and retweets and things of that nature. And, now that I've left my distributor, I can't even see like what it's doing until I get started up with my next one, which is Ditto Music. So, try going with them, getting 100% of everything. And then also, if I decide not to continue with them, at least my content will stay there. Because most distributors, the moment you stop paying them, they'll pull all your stuff off. Yeah, like they'll yank it immediately. Okay. So, yep. So I'm gonna let it breathe. I'm gonna let it breathe, and then I'm gonna move it all over to Ditto Music, and we'll go from there. And hopefully, there's more in the future. Me and TJ have consistently talked about collabs, but of course, I respect the space of it. He just had a son not too long ago, so trying to respect the space. But with him, he's ready to work regardless. But we definitely have the Dragon Ball, Spider-Man. Still trying to figure out the Sonic one.
Well, you got to October 25th.
Are you trying to figure out?
I'm trying to figure out Sonic. Like that one.
You trying to figure out lyrics or the?
No. Lyrics is the easy part. Okay. It's the beat aspect of it. And I'm like, I might pass that off to somebody else because I have like 3 or 4 of them, and I'm like, I just don't like them. So it's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna probably give that responsibility to somebody else.
So like, you have until October 25th for what I want.
You have until October 25th.
What was October 25th?
Sonic Shadow Generation. You have October 25th.
Why did I think that was earlier?
It's October. It's the day before Sparking Zero, I think. It's the day before Dragon Ball.
Okay, yeah, because Dragon Ball.
All that stuff come out the same week.
Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. Man, I get anxiety thinking about this stuff, but okay, well, we'll go with October. Gives me a month. I'm cool.
Your pocket Thanos snapped.
Yep. All right, peeps.
Disappear.
All right, peeps. So tonight, first things first. Thoughts on Microsoft basically being third party right now? Because they done pretty much said that.
They didn't say it.
I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, Gamescom was this past week. I hope y'all caught our live reaction with Vicky, and boy, okay, so everybody knows. Positive. Yeah, everybody knows that something was going from Microsoft to Sony, and it was Indiana Jones. Couldn't have to a better game. So basically, Phil Spencer came out, I think, on Wednesday, and basically said that that's part of their strategy, which we all said this was going to happen. Yeah, because these games cost too much. Right, they cost too much. Even for Microsoft, who is $1 trillion company, they ain't trying to lose money either. I don't know if y'all know who their CEO is. They ain't trying to lose money. He will Thanos snap you in a heartbeat if he just feels it. So the best way for them to keep their sustainability is to, hey, we're gonna have to let some of our titles go to other places. So Indiana Jones was one. I still think Starfield is going over there at some point.
For sure.
Because it started out supposed to be on everything. Yeah. Well, those things. So I want to get you guys' thoughts on the whole of them being third party-ish for the moment. Because I still think like either series, they're probably gonna do one more console after this, but then I think they're gonna be fully PC after that. Because the way their ecosystem is set up, they might as well be.
So I look at this from a multitude of ways, but I think Phil Spencer is spot on in the sense of we're business. Like he also, in a very polite way, was like, we owe Microsoft money. Like, he said, we have a great relationship. They provide us with what we need and everything, and we got to find a way to make sure that everybody is happy. So I'm paraphrasing, but ultimately it's like, hey, our loan shark needs their dollars, and we need to find a way to be lucrative enough to get that back because they just spent $70 billion. Like, you're not getting that overnight, but at the same time, you're not getting that only on Xbox. You can't get $70 billion back being exclusive. plus your Nintendo. But it's not something that's going to be viable in that space. So what he was saying, and the one thing I can't stand is like, oh, Phil lied. Y'all have to understand, like me being a manager, there's times I've gone to my team and was like, oh, this is how stuff was going to go. Literally a week later, somebody comes back and tells me that ain't how it's happening. So now I got to go back and tell them, and they tell me like what happened. I'm the more of on the transparent side. Phil can't do that. Like he can't come to the masses like, hey, buddy back there told me otherwise. Like I can't do X, Y, and Z. You can't do that. So I'm okay with how it's going down because of what type of money they put out there. Now, I still feel like they will provide a console, but I think Sony and Microsoft now have to go the route that, ironically enough, Nintendo's been going. Even though Nintendo has exclusives, their system gives you an exclusive feature as well. So while we've always talked about people clamoring for a Xenoblade Chronicle X re-release, it still would be a downgrade for the game. The same way with Wind Waker as well as Twilight Princess, because there were features with the Wii U gamepad that could not be replicated with the Switch. So you're still getting a downgrade. It may look better, but it doesn't mean that it plays better because the gameplay is going to be different.
Wonderful
the same thing with Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101.
Yeah, Wonderful 101. Yep. Same thing. There was a reason for that.
Lego City Undercover.
Zombie U. Like there's a multitude of games that lost features, and I think that's where Xbox and Sony are going to have to go next. They have to go the Nintendo route of let me provide the feature that's going to be, better for the person that buys my console. So right now, what Microsoft has is Game Pass. Now we're taking PC out of this, like exclude PC. We're talking about console. They have Game Pass. That's not something that's ever coming to Sony. So even though Indiana Jones or possibly a Starfield or even rumors of Forza going over to PlayStation, you're still coming out of your pocket $70 to where the person that has Game Pass is okay with paying monthly fees and don't have to pay that. And it pops up day one for them. Yep. So that will be the trade-off. So that part I'm cool with. Having a fan base, it doesn't seem like they really ever had one, not for real. But even then, they're not leaving just because Sony's getting something. I could see if they said, well, Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation and we don't think it's a good fit for Xbox, so therefore our Xbox players are not getting it anymore. That's where I'll be pissed off. But the fact that you get it first in December, they don't get it until spring of next year, and it's on Game Pass. So Microsoft as a whole, they got to get the ducats back. Then they got to turn around and be profitable. So they're gonna select Indiana Jones is a game that should be on PlayStation. It's one of those action adventure games. It will thrive over there. But if you look at if they decide to revisit Redfall, it's not gonna do anything over at Sony.
No,
it's not gonna do anything. I mean, if you look at Forza, I don't think it will either because
they got
Gran Turismo doing good. Yeah.
No,
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things to where you have to really factor in what best fits. Same way they say a Lego Horizon from PlayStation, send it over to Switch, but don't send it to Xbox. They know where it's going to fit. So for me, I still don't consider them a third party per se, even though you might as well say they are, because I mean, they distribute their games to other locations. But I feel like they will still show some form of a first party presence by saying, hey, look, we have the cloud, we have Game Pass, and then also we have PC. But if we keep it with consoles, Game Pass is going to always be that lucrative piece, but I do not think it's going to be something that carries over into another console. Like, you now have to provide me something worthwhile with this next one outside of these series consoles.
Yep. Yeah. All right, Andre, what about you?
I mean, I'm pretty much agreeing. Only thing I would think that they're going to end up having to do is it just looks like they're taking the SNK Neo Geo route currently. Where you have your main console, and more than likely they'll probably work out something where this stuff will work the best on their platform.
Right.
Then everywhere else you'll have slight variations to how well it works. Like taking any of the SNK fighting games, for example, back during SNES and Genesis. Fatal Fury playing on a Genesis versus the Super Nintendo versus the Neo Geo gave you 3 different experiences.
Right.
So It's definitely going to come down to console features, and they are in a sense lacking in console features in comparison to both Sony and Nintendo, and you can't even throw PC down on the map of ideas,
right?
Because they don't even games that they have on their main platform on PC have features that are not on their main platform.
Yep.
So yeah, it's definitely going to come down to features.
Yeah, because I think right now we're talking Resume Play and Game Pass is the only console features.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
That's about it. And Game Pass, you technically still have. It's a different variant.
Correct.
But you still have that for PC.
Right.
But let's playing Doom on PC versus playing it on Xbox. You got gyro on PC.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm curious as to where's this mysterious controller been that was leaked. That was supposed to be, you know, where you can recharge it, has gyro, and the whole nine.
Chances are they probably waiting for another console announcement.
Yeah, Dark Void, you're right. It does, especially when you talk about like the online games such as like a 2K that has to stay online.
Oh yeah.
But it's still something that I would say 90-10 it functions as it should. You know, but nonetheless, I think that's the only feature, but they gotta ramp it up. They have to.
I think they just, well, they're not gonna do it because I'm not trying to be controversial or nothing, but they don't really, when it comes to creativity and like forcing people to use, they don't do it. Like,
no,
people get mad at Nintendo, but like, look, like the Wii, for example, the Wii remote and Chuck.
If you didn't have to use those for any games whatsoever, they would have died.
Yeah, they would have died. Quickly. The gamepad, you couldn't even start the system without.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't get it going without the gamepad, and then after that, you couldn't affect any of your settings.
Yeah, so you needed to use it. Now there are some people who did not like that, but I'm like the companies that embraced it, their games did well.
Yeah.
It was Platinum. Even Bandai Namco when they did for the Tekken Tag tournament, because people forgot Tekken Tag tournament was on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, the people that embraced it, their games did fine.
But it questions like, is it just a lack of creativity across the entire genre, or are we just talking the main three big developers that make consoles?
I would say in Sony and Microsoft's case, it's do with them because they don't. It's like I don't want to say they're scared. They put all their trust and they've let third party tell them what to do.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 90% of your damn platform that's successful is third party.
I will say this though, like Sony didn't have to do that though.
They didn't. No,
Sony had mascots to rival Nintendo, and they just let them go.
They let them go.
Yeah,
Crash, Spyro, that was them.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, they had them. So
they still got a couple of them. They just don't use them.
Yeah, I think Sly and Jack they still have, but like it's like they don't want to. Because Naughty Dog said it was never gonna. They're more mature now. So I'm like, we'll pass it off to somebody else.
Oh yeah,
like we'll pass it off to somebody else if they don't want to do it. Like you're freaking Sony.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because I mean, you don't have to let that company continue to make it. I get Naughty Dog wanting to be something and do something different because I'm pretty sure you get wore out doing the same stuff.
Let's call a spade a spade. It was Neil Druckmann that wanted to do something different. It wasn't Naughty Dog. It was Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
One man.
So I mean, kudos to them. I mean, they see the writing on the wall. I'm not gonna look at this as a negative because in reality, I mean, Sony and Microsoft don't make money up front from the console anyway. So if we're talking about where we all envision them all going, you know, when we talked about what was the future of these manufacturers or these console makers, I honestly said I didn't even know where Sony was going to go, to where I knew exactly where Microsoft was going to go, and we knew we couldn't pinpoint what Nintendo was going to do, but we just knew they were going to be creative. Yeah. But when it comes down to Microsoft, I mean, that rumor is very strong about them reaching out to other companies to make handhelds. So to reach out to an Asus, reach out to a Lenovo or whoever to make these handhelds for them. So I mean, that's going to be a route they'll probably go to say, hey, look, we got you in the handheld space too. Now, will that be cloud only? I mean, from the somewhat success they've seen from the Portal, maybe they copy that. I don't know. But ultimately, I feel like their next console really should be what the Steam box was supposed to be. Yeah. I don't know why no one's visit that again.
Because I think Steam couldn't get it to work, couldn't get it to be profitable.
But
but people forgetting that Valve as a company has less money than all three of them separately.
Yeah.
So it's like,
because I'm looking at the Steam Deck. Because I'm looking at the Steam Deck, it works, it functions. Like they got that portion figured out. You can go straight into big picture mode. Immediately, like jumps you right into there, and then also that it has a desktop portion too. But I don't know if Windows has figured that out, because Windows 11 in itself with the ROG Ally is kind of a pain in the behind. But you can still build a UI on top of that. You are Microsoft. Like build a UI on top of that.
Just go up a level. Just go up a floor to the network team and have them figure it out.
Get the Surface team on board and figure that out, because now it's a situation to where I think, who is it? Actually, ROG. They sell this very thin PC. It's $2,200, but it runs solid. Like it's like 4070 level. But my thing is, Microsoft can subsidize that cost because they know they'll get it back in games that they sell, whether it be on Switch, their console, or PlayStation. So that's how Valve was able to get the Steam Deck so cheap, because they ate that cost. So now we're talking about Microsoft, the leader of PC. Like you guys can go up to the Surface team, say, hey, make me this box that, whether you want it super small or you just want the size of the Series S, and say, make that bad boy a PC that just runs with the best of them. Not only do you get that to work with the console, well, the PC side of it, and have those games and everything run like it needs to be, but then you draw on that VR crowd too, because now that's just a plug and play situation. The moment you download Steam VR, bam, there you go. You just took care of both the VR space and the PC and gaming space all in one with one console. Is right there. They just is right there. You don't have to update those components. Yes, we have the enthusiast that wants to get every new graphics card that comes out, but
can't afford it.
Right. Let's be honest. Most games still can run off the 2070 is still viable.
Shoot, there's still games running off of a 980 Ti.
Yes.
So you good.
You don't have to keep jumping like that. So they'll be fine, because these console lifespans are like 7 years anyway. And then, God forbid, if they go the route of like what this PS5, you can exchange out the SSD. If they tell you now we allow you to do swappable parts, really you don't have to do much
at that point.
Yeah, like all we need you to do is buy it and then buy our games. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just my idea. I don't get paid for this.
It's just interesting to see, that's all. Because I swear, for 2 gens, the talking point was Nintendo needs to go third party.
Yeah.
Even the Wii, they need to go third party. Dude, they just sold over 100 million. What are you talking about? They need to go third party.
But it's always centered around graphics, and that's where another thing I wanted to do in my video was terminology in gaming. Next gen just means this is my next generational console. It doesn't mean I went with the next best graphics and the next best hardware. That's not what it means.
I mean, if it already exists, how is it next gen?
There you go.
And on top of that, every time we have these conversations, and I've had to explain this to people, like, dude, when the Xbox Series S and X and the PS5 came out, they were both obsolete.
There you go.
When they released, they were both obsolete. Why? Because they were working on those systems back in 2017.
You have to give
which
somebody
means
a benchmark.
The parts they used were probably no quicker than 2018.
Yeah.
2019. So on release, they were outdated. So if you're saying that, and that's all of them. So if you really want to say you have the cutting edge stuff, that means you're going PC.
You have to.
That's the only way you can do
upgrading every 6 months.
Yeah. And
which is
good luck to see what that does to your checking account. Because and on top of that, it's not cheap.
No,
you go get a 4090, it ain't cheap.
And on top of that, if it's got any bugs or glitches, you are the first person to have to deal
There
with
you
it.
go.
Yeah, you gotta fix it.
Shoot.
And
I
half
think
of
about
y'all, and half of y'all don't know how to do that stuff. So
people don't even know how to get into their what's their BIOS.
yeah,
No, not even close.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
you have to do most of the work.
Because I mean that whole area is kind of like, if you want to go that route, it's kind of like being on Android side of things. Like whenever they show those graphs of like how many phones are really on the latest, greatest version of Android, it's in single digits. Like, and that's the same thing within the PC space. Those developers cannot afford to keep trying to move up and then leave everybody back here behind. That's stupid. Yeah, they can. Like I said, that is a win for them if they figure that crap out. If they make a sleek system that's small in size, because I feel like that still plays a part as into why they do so bad in Japan. Because their consoles tend to be freaking humongous. But get it to a decent size. Make sure that it runs everything the way it needs to be. We already are in the space of where you go to settings and change the performance on crap. But at least I feel like that will still be beneficial if Microsoft puts a team on it to say, hey, look, we went the PC route. Go to this website. If you ever want to know what settings to put on for this game, here you go. So that way people don't have to do the legwork. Yeah. Make it consumer friendly. Like, hey, this is be that source to say, all right, cool. You want to run this? Put your settings this way for this console. Or even you can create something even better to where if you create a proper UI similar to how Steam with the controller layouts, they have the templates to where you can just go and download them. And it's like, okay, cool. Somebody already created and configured this for me. So that way it plays well. Do the same thing for the settings. Like, hey, have some preset settings of like, this is what's going to make the game run like it needs to, even if people go on there and add their own of like, hey, this is the community board. People said it runs best with these settings. Let me download it. It puts it in the game for you. You don't have to go and tinker with it. Bam, there you go. It's pretty simple. It really is.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, it is. Yeah.
But you're speaking logic and reasoning, sir. We don't use those things. We don't use that here in the gaming space.
The only thing that they will catch flack on is Microsoft had to run the PC to beat PlayStation. Stop, because they're next. Yeah. They're next.
Basically, they're copying them.
People literally forgetting that Sony had PCs.
Yeah.
Like they're
They had gaming PCs at one point.
Sony's
trying them that they lost it.
Yeah, Sony trying to keep up with Microsoft is the reason why they're in the situation they're in right now.
There you go.
I don't think people realize how big Sony used to be as a conglomerate.
Yeah, so they had to knock off some of those other sections because I still say they were expensive, still some of the best Android phones.
Yeah, that was Sony. So
yeah,
Sony trying to keep up with them is the reason why they had to drop y'all remember Sony Vaio? Y'all remember I think they still have the TV line, some of the electronics line. They still have that. They don't have the phones. They don't have they lost a lot of stuff because of that. So there's that. All right, so this one, and I know Andre talked about this one, but I want to bring it up because I think it's relevant to an extent because I brought up what happened a couple of years ago on the Joe Budden podcast when we had a group of women talking about this same subject. Somebody put up a post on X, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it, about what's unattractive, and of course, gaming was in there. Now, I've told people this 100 times before. I'm like, gaming is niche.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Is it more accepted now? Yeah, it's more accepted than it used to be. It is. But we're still a small pocket. And a lot of people do not like gamers. They think you are a child if you do that. You can't talk to people if you are a gamer. And I'm like, no, that's not true. That's a hobby. It's a hobby. People have hobbies. And one of the things that I remember hearing on that podcast was basically the ladies were saying that you are an individual with LDE, and y'all can go to the Urban Dictionary if you want to know what that means. If you do that, but they wanted dudes to buy them Birkin bags, which to me, I'm like, a console cheaper than a Birkin bag, but hey, whatever. Yeah. So
far more economically sound.
And it's a better investment. But it's one of those situations where you sit there and you look at it and you're like, this is 2024, and we still got people who don't understand what a hobby is, and on top of that, using that to try to belittle somebody and make themselves look big.
Yep.
So I know it was an engagement piece. Yeah, I know it was an engagement piece, but I thought it was actually funny because I'm like, all right, ladies, she's talking about you. Some of y'all, we're supposed to be gamers. Let's hear you defend the gaming space. I ain't heard nothing from nobody.
Only time I ever heard anything was at work. Because this somehow trickled to work.
Yeah, I'm like, so I found it to be very interesting. I'm like, okay, I know a lot of people that game, and I know, but if a dude had said that, it would have blew up. How dare you? And I'm sitting there like, y'all gamers too. She talking about y'all.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, this always
the specific criteria was that women find men who game unattractive.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we're being fair, that would eke them out of it just barely.
Yeah.
But I would think at that point you'd want to stand up for your brothers in the space, at least the ones that rep y'all, like us. Like you'd want to step up for us because we step up for y'all.
Right.
So I haven't seen that from too many people. I think I saw a couple people do it, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's a hobby. It to me, like, I'll actually give you the control at work.
Right.
If you want to play, I'll actually show you how to play, and I'll give you the control to actually work. I can't speak for everybody else. I do that too. I keep a mad cats just in case.
Yeah.
Some people you gotta be spiteful towards. Yeah. They gonna get the busted controller, the one where that left analog stick keep getting stuck on the right side.
And I move it just enough to make it look like it worked.
hey, your character doing one of these the whole time on
screen. Yeah, so I mean, because I have a lot of hobbies. So yeah, I still comic manga collect. I still do that. Gaming, I still draw, I still write. Still read. I still do martial arts. So I got a lot of hobbies. So I'm sitting here like, so basically stuff that you use to decompress from the day is wrong because that's unattractive to you?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to relax.
They don't have hobbies.
Yeah. Like
the ones that quoted do not have hobbies. Like I work with I'm be honest, I work with like 99% women at work because I work in the HR department. And they've literally said out their own mouths, if you don't play games, watch sports or something, they feel like something's wrong with you. Like you need to do one or the other. Because they was like at some point, like it's become a known thing. Like that's guys' hobby at that point. Like I'd rather you be playing video games and watching sports than running the streets. Like that's where they are. And that's where I'm like, okay, well, I thought this was going to go a totally different direction, but I appreciate y'all. But yeah, I mean, it's become a common thing for guys to play games. Like I understand every time they speak on that, they always speak about the extremists, like the ones that's all they do. They don't work, they don't wash themselves. Like we understand those guys exist. Trust me, I knew guys like that. I still know guys like that. But it's those that still go to work, like Jay says, still have other hobbies. You still create content. You still take care of your kids. It's okay to have that hobby. But they always think about the extreme. It's never the everyday guy. They always think about the one that is in their mom's basement that everyone depicts gamers as.
Dude with Cheeto puff fingers,
right?
They've never met. They've never met.
His sweat is green because he drinks so much Mountain Dew.
Man, I'm like, come on, man, because I haven't met too many people like that. Because like the only people, there's only one person I ever met that let a video game pretty much take over his life. He had just got into WoW when WoW was popping, and that dude did. But most games I know are like, dude, I need my hobbies.
Yeah,
that's what keeps you going, keeps me balanced. The same. So I'm like, I do have my hobbies. I had to keep them. So And I know dudes that straight up be like, if the girl they try to talk to or talking to, even if they even make fun of one of their hobbies, you gone, you dismissed.
Pretty much.
They're like, you dismissed because I'm not. You're not bringing.
Because eventually you hear it too. If you start to let that get in your head, you're going to hear it too much, and it's just going to end up weighing you down.
Right. Yeah.
So why you got to bring that man up? We don't need Mr. Roaches crawling on himself during the stream.
That's him? Because I never knew his name.
Yes, that's who that was.
That's who
You're a millionaire, and dude
is filthy. Dude.
Well, he had to go to the hospital because something happened.
Because he was just eating beef jerky and drinking freaking soda.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Like you have a blood pressure of what was it, 190 something?
Yeah.
I was like, my blood pressure don't get that high, and I know I'm heavier than you for a fact. As skinny as you are. Yeah, but we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about Mr. Rich and Stanky.
Yeah,
the
fact that he's a millionaire is disgusting. Like
he got rich off of video games, so I understand. Like that's a person that is one of the extremes, but that's not everyday people.
That's not everyday people.
Everyday people know, okay, eventually I gotta get off of this. Even if I want to stay on it, I gotta get off of it at some point because there's other stuff that's gotta be done.
Yeah,
correct.
Like most of us, a lot of us are actually functioning adults that know, okay, I got to go to work. I got bills to pay. I got, miles to feed. I got, they can balance stuff out easily. It's just funny that we still have this going on. And like people like to say, it's 2024. Like, yeah, you're right. It's 2024. And this is what we still have to deal with because people don't understand that there's nothing wrong with hobbies.
The thing is, though, the hobby wouldn't exist if people didn't partake in the hobby.
There you go.
If people didn't embrace the idea of it, it wouldn't exist. But that's like being mad at somebody who's a hobbyist board game collector and they like to play their board games with a bunch of people. I'm not gonna be mad at that person. They want to share an enjoyable time. I'm gonna get right there at the table with them. I mean, we gonna be fighting fisticuffs over Monopoly, or maybe Uno, but we gonna enjoy our time there.
Yeah, I
mean, even then, it's like when you think about it, I don't know if you count it as a hobby, but majority of them spend majority of their time scouring through social media all day or either posting on social media.
I mean, that is a hobby.
Yeah.
Not one I think is healthy, but it is a hobby.
Yeah. So I was like, it depends on the person. I tell, people all the time, I've had exes that they loved purses. I could never understand why. I was like, you spend more on the thing with less money in your pocket. But if that's your thing, that's your thing, if you can afford to do it. Yeah. But it is one of those things of just being responsible behind it. If I went and we joke about it, where September is going to eat up pockets, but I think everybody here on this podcast has enough common sense to know I'm not going to go purchase every game I want this month.
No.
Like, and if you do, you looking for deals first.
Yeah,
exactly. Because every game I looked at, I was like, those bad boys range from $50 to $70 for every one of them. And it's like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I'll just pick the one I really want, Baccarat, and we'll leave it alone. The rest will probably on sale next week.
Yeah, because we still got a Labor Day sale coming. There's gonna be Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday, and they do them now for the Game Awards. They'll have a weekend where stuff will be 30 to 50% off. So
they definitely gonna have a New Year's sale.
Yeah. So most gamers know that. Like they know, so we like, okay, I can plan for this.
Most of us that are not perpetually and only on the internet.
There you go.
So I just wanted to bring that up because one, I think people need to still understand that like as much as gaming has went a little bit more mainstream, we're still niche. We're not global.
Yeah,
we're correct. So pump the brakes when you think everybody. That's why when you have to be mindful of your words. You have to be really mindful of your words because when, like, for instance, when the whole Gamergate thing happened, like people were not mindful of their words. Yeah, you were getting attacked for being a gamer, but you had to be mindful of your words. And everybody was taking the smallest thing anybody said and was
blowing it out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not going to mention the worst person to cut. They got popped off that mess.
People,
but I'm just glad that Hideki Kamiya put her in her place and she ain't say nothing to him. I freaking love Hideki Kamiya. Dude is awesome. But all right, let's have a little bit of I like what they did, but I'm jealous because it ain't over here. So Nintendo had not a direct presentation for that Nintendo museum.
That museum.
And I'm sitting here like I'm watching that whole thing. I'm like, why can't I live?
We got plenty of spaces over here for something like that.
Like, why can't I live in Japan?
Make an apartment every 2 weeks. Might as well.
I'm like, why can't I live in Japan? Has anybody in the chat seen that Nintendo museum? It's only 13 minutes.
I chose not to watch it because I'm not crazy enough to know, hey, I'm not going to watch something I'm never going to go to. Like, I would love to be optimistic, say I may go to it one of these days, but that means I got to make it to there first and then go to the museum.
I am making that's on my bucket list. Within 3 years, I'm gonna be over there. Within 3 years, I'm making it a point to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, and the fact that like for the little bit I did see, it was like interactive, like those big Wii controllers. I was like, that's crazy.
I'm like, Miyamoto sitting there playing. I'm like, it looks crazy, and I want to try that.
Oh, that's dope, Dartboard. That's dope.
Yeah. Good shot, man. Let us know how it is, bro.
So you got to put in for a drawing. That's crazy.
Dude, man, the first time they had when Super Nintendo World opened up.
Oh yeah, I knew that. It was flooded.
Yeah. People were flying from over here to go over there.
Yeah, I figured that
they weren't even going to the one in Cali. They were going to the one in Japan.
Yeah.
So I completely understand. So
man, but that would be clean because I'm still sitting here waiting for Super Nintendo World to come to Florida.
Yeah, like that was supposed to open up next summer, right? I think it's next summer.
Let's see.
So.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like, I ain't seen enough flyers around here to warrant supporting that theory. I'll wait till they tell me. And that's first thing smoking. I don't care if I got to work or not. My child will be here. I'll be there by myself. I don't care what you do. Either you rolling or you're not.
Yeah,
I'm in the car.
I know I'm going to that one because I'm like I'm not going out to Cali, but I'll go to Florida.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there day one for sure.
Take a trip, head down.
Oh yeah, getting that Airbnb, so I won't have to drive all the way out there. Get my I got to drive out there, which from here to Orlando is about an hour and some change. So get out there, get my Airbnb in Davenport because I'm not getting it in Orlando, which would be super duper cheap. Drive into Orlando. Oh yeah, trust me. I'm telling the whole family, you can either be on board or I can tell you what happened. Either way, I'm going. This isn't I got to figure it out for the whole family. No. My ticket's bought. Figure it out.
If you want to go or not, it's on you. This is not. I'm just giving you a heads up. This is not me asking.
It's kind of like Cat Williams when he was like he had to get a motorcycle and his kid was like, "Where I'm gonna ride." Figure it out. Like I don't know. Like you gonna have to figure it out. Like I knew I had this much money. This is how much it's costing. This is what I got left over, and there's not enough for you to get a ticket to. Figure it out.
That's so well.
Yeah,
I'm going though. I'm going though.
Like, hey, look, you can chill out here while I go have fun.
Right. Well, I have my phone to give you the play-by-play.
Yeah.
I'll record some videos for you and send them to you. You'll be good.
The in-person vlog gonna be on point.
Hey.
Put it like that. But I was looking at that and I was like, man, this looks like a lot of fun. And I'm like, why can't I be in Japan? Because I want to go to this.
Back to creativity.
I want to go with this.
I want to go. I want to go so bad.
And I don't know why when they have Miyamoto doing it, it just looks way more fun.
Because he looked like he enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
That's why.
It's big kids. That's it.
Like they're in the room and like you're hitting stuff. You have to hit stuff in the room with that little like toy baseball shooter. Like
I don't even want to watch it, man.
Because you hit stuff and it actually tallies up points for you to win something.
I would go right in there and go gung ho.
Yeah, because I didn't know they were doing it. I didn't know they made that. I knew about the Hanafuda cards. I knew about some of the board games. I didn't know they was actually making like stuff for like bowling balls and stuff like that. I didn't know they were doing all that.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, dang, bro. So yeah, If you haven't had a chance to check that out, because that was a fun 13 minutes of just like, why is that not over here?
A fun 13 minutes of envy.
Yeah, I was like, jealousy. I'm going to be the next Darksiders because of that. I'm one of the 7 deadly sins.
Oh man,
the sin of being pissed.
Wow.
But yeah, now back to the dark side of gaming. Gamescom. All right.
Perfect segue.
As y'all know, I didn't really care for it. I didn't even. I usually try to be nice about it and be like, man, it was alright. Nah.
No, don't lie to yourself.
This one wasn't. I ain't even finna lie to myself like that.
Nope.
The games that we saw, okay, we knew about most of them.
Yep.
The vast majority of them we knew about.
Yep.
I will say I did like that first Berserker Kazan. I'm probably gonna pick that up. I did like that.
That looks interesting. But
it looks interesting. But other than that, like, and there's always like one or two that look interesting, but this one just wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to realize people not being there is what's making these suck.
That's the only reason?
No, I mean like Nintendo, Sony not being there, it's making it suck.
Oh, okay. I was about to say attendance, I think, yeah. But no, I see what you're saying.
But the attendance is going to be there because most of those people are bloggers and work for companies to come in and do that stuff. So, like the people that was up front, you can tell because I'm glad they learned from last year not to have the stage, have the people back from the stage.
Right.
So they can't run up there, you know. But yeah, like that game that what is it, King of Meatballs?
Wow, like, for that one.
Yeah,
that name is still awful.
That name is suspect as hell. Like, man, and then the way they did it. Like, all right, I know y'all trying to do. No, just no, just no. But
yeah. I don't know. I mean, but
I don't even know how you fix it. I don't know how you fix it.
You can't. Like, it's one of those things to where the people that really make good games and interesting games, they're going to show up in other locations. That's just what it is. You don't have the support and backing of those that are creative. And I think I forgot who it was that mentioned this, and it might have been Sandstorm Vito. So forgive me if I'm speaking about somebody else, but you're paying the wrong people to show up. And even for those that have to pay to be there, they're really like, because I think it was what 100,000 to get your joint up there.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, I can't even afford to be there. So I'm pretty sure there are some that's going to get there on pro bono. Like, hey, look, we need you to be here to showcase something. I'm not going to pay you $100,000 to show my game off when I go to YouTube and do it for free. So now we got that factor. But then when we talk about who you need to be there or who you want to be there, I'm pretty sure you got people that's going to sponsor the show. So their game is going to be there. But what these award shows should be, or not award shows, but these game shows should be, you should be going out looking for like interesting games to you. Like, go to these different studios. Hey, what you got? Oh, I like what that looks like. Can you put it at my show whenever it is? Opposed to you just like letting every Tom, Dick, and Harry show up with a check and say, let me show my game off.
Yeah.
It's going to always look bad.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo Sony is going to be at Tokyo Game Show in September. I'm pretty sure they're going to, because that's home turf. But I can understand. I can understand why, especially when we start seeing like how much E3 was charging them. I'm like, I don't blame Nintendo for doing what they were doing. Hell, Microsoft did the same thing. Microsoft just did their stuff from their location.
Yep.
So they didn't have to pay for it. And then when Sony started realizing they were the only one, like, we pay how much? Like, yeah. So I'm like, I get it. But like I said, I know Jeff was in his feelings during some of the games, but I'm like, bro, you caused that yourself, because had you not ran your mouth and acted like you want, because he can say he wasn't, but he was doing victory laps when E3 folded.
Yeah, he was.
He
man posted less than 5 minutes after they had said that they were canceling it.
Yeah. Less than 5 minutes.
Oh, that ain't even like at that point. You're not even trying to give it breathing room. You didn't even give it a day. Like let them have the day. Let everybody come to terms with it. Nope. Oh, E3's over, but Summer of Games is on. Like you just put everybody in a bad mood when you did that. Like
yeah,
it didn't help none. Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. I'm like, if anything, you would have thought since he's a name in the industry, he would have tried to work with them and be like, okay, let's integrate or do something to try to save it. But he wasn't thinking like that.
But the names that people really like and tolerated within the gaming space before everybody became a content creator, like they don't make things like this. Like they kind of off into the sunset, and either they do their own thing, they like stream the event, or they just don't do it anymore. So it's like
a lot of those places don't exist anymore either. So
I'm not even talking about themselves. I'm talking about like the people. Yeah. So like the first person I think of that always comes to my mind is what's his name, Jose Otero. He used to do the MVC stuff, and he left. He left IGN. But I would have loved, like, if he was like, "Hey, I'm doing my own thing, and we're doing our own event," I would show up for that because I feel like he would run that in a good way. Because sometimes you got to have the personality. You got to know that these people have certain tastes, because he used to get beat up all the time about certain games that he liked from Nintendo. That at the time Brian and them hated and ate him up for. But
yeah, he had no backup.
Exactly. So now when you look at those content creators at the time that were working with an IGN or a Game Bomb or a GameSpot, they just kind of left and just didn't stay in a space unless they're just kind of doing journalism somewhere else, but they don't do the content creation anymore.
Yeah, that's how I was like, yeah,
he's at Nintendo now. He's there now, but I'm just saying in general, like content creators like him. Yeah, it's like that. You expect it to be the ones that say, you know what, this whole corporation thing isn't working anymore. Like we can't just stay here at IGN. We can actually go and do our own thing and find those type of games and actually put them on our platform, opposed to going the route of a Greg Miller that's only focused on Sony. Yeah. And then,
because I can't. I'm sorry, like Greg and Colin, that they have their own stuff, and kudos to them. But I still can't stand them. They're still the same to me. They're still the same, because especially in this. I ain't gonna get into that, but yeah, them dudes are like, them dudes are. They are part of the problem, not part. They were never part of the solution. They were part of the problem, and nobody calls them out on their BS. And they, even when they go on there, they pretty much damn near kissing their ass. It's kind of like Stephen A. Smith in that respect. Like nobody calls out Stephen A. Smith to his face for some reason. Stephen A. loves to do a lot of this, and when somebody goes at him, he gets in his feelings.
Yeah.
But not enough people go at him, call him out to his face because they scared of ESPN. Because I'm like, bro, if you don't work there, call him out. He can't do nothing to you.
There you go.
But I digress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm at Tokyo Game Show and all the other stuff. They exist. The award aspect of things is, I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to get better. I just don't think it is. You got the wrong people at the forefront right now. So unless we start really, in all honesty, it's just going to be the developers themselves presenting it in a good way on YouTube, in a creative way to make people show up. Because having it all in one location, I don't think it's going to be a thing anymore.
No.
Unless Nintendo decides to start doing their own award shows, then that'd be great.
I know, if they did that, well, that'll piss everybody off. Because number one, that's the reason why we got the situation we got now. Because that's all. Like when I hear people say, "Oh, the successor's gonna fail because they offer every other time," I'm like, nah. The reason why the Wii U failed was because they didn't control the narrative. They control the narrative now.
Yeah,
they control it.
Because you can easily control that marketing at that. Like if you could control the narrative, you could have said, you know what? Yep, we did a bad job. Here, let's re-show this to you. Let's get you to understand it, because everybody else jumped down their throats like they didn't know what it was. So now
even though
when
they
we look
knew
at
what it was,
they knew what it was.
yeah.
But you look at the space now to where, okay, we're asking what can we do for award shows? You get the three biggest companies, which at this point is Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, and they put something together. Now they go and they select who they want to select to be, the judges of what game should win what, because they would be a bit biased if one was running it and like, oh, of course my game won. Like, or even if Nintendo wants to go the route, say, hey, we're gonna do Nintendo awards, every game that released on our platforms this year, we're gonna allow the fans to vote, but as only games that have released on our platform. You cannot, no game that if you decide not to release on Nintendo, you're not a part of this award show. It is what it is.
Yeah, very much.
Basically, yeah.
And it'll be so popular, I'm pretty sure EA will show up eventually at that point, like, oh, we get award shows too? Like, okay, let's go. Like, it'll happen. I mean, they're all three of them are big enough to do it. They can pull it off.
Yeah. So that wouldn't even be an issue. So
no, it wouldn't be. I think honestly, though, also some of the shows, and whether it's award shows or just showing off games themselves, when they bring people into those spaces to present, they usually take people that either one have something wrong with their reputation, or two, no one knows their reputation, and this person is a friend of someone who works there, so it creates a bad look for what they're doing.
Right.
And they gotta learn to stop doing that. And then specifically for the Game Awards, stop paying celebrities and top tier music acts or top known music acts to come present for the show. If they are not a part of a game for that year, they don't need to be there.
There you go.
Like having I love Al Pacino, but he had no business being.
He didn't need to be there.
No.
He really truly did not need to be there.
Unless we were getting a remake of Scarface, but
but he didn't need to be there. Like
also paying Imagine Dragons.
Yeah,
like
and I like Imagine Dragons, but I'm like,
Imagine Dragons. They need to be there.
Have they been in any games though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not unless somebody used their song in the soundtrack.
Because they've been to 2 Game Awards though. The one I liked was when they did the thing with Koji Kondo on the piano.
Yeah,
that was dope. That was fire. But I'm like, I know it costs a lot of money to get them to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think for that one I could accept, because that's specifically a special thing where you're using someone in the industry with a big act.
Correct.
But did you have them come on stage by the was it Rage Against the Machine?
Did
they need to be there?
No, they didn't.
No. You have so many people that didn't need to be there.
And I understand why Jeff does it, because he wants it to be, this sophisticated thing. And I'm like, bro,
but you ain't got that. You don't have the backing of Spike TV, so it don't make no
you
sense
don't
to do that.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, if you're gonna have those type of talents there, have them play a song from a video game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I'm like, he should go and get some of the nerdcore people, because that's what Rustage and Nerd Out and Screwface John and Daddy Fat Chops, Game Boy Jones, Omega Sparks, Mega Ran. You see how long that list I already got? You pay them to do that.
Yeah, you pay them to be there be your on stage presence, and if you need a DJ, there are several nerdcore DJs that will happily do it.
And I promise you, it ain't gonna cost you as much as it costs to get Blink 182 or
There are so many people on YouTube who do remixes of music, and they're allowed to, because you can do remixes of songs and not breach copyright.
Yeah.
You can get them to come on and DJ for your whole show.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, that's what it's supposed to be. It's about everything gaming. You celebrate the artists, you celebrate the developers, the games themselves. It's supposed to be a whole celebration. And I'm not like, oh, no one can get in here. We're gatekeeping. It's on the lines of, if you're not providing anything for the hobby, then don't show up. It's that simple.
Yeah, because you don't need to be there.
Right.
And they brought, who was it that was there twice? That I can't stand him, the comedian.
Joe McHale.
Yeah. He's told like what 5 funny jokes his whole career. Like, don't pay him to be there.
Yeah, because I understand his comedy, and his comedy should have never been there. The type of comedy he does is not comedy that I would put at any nerd or like anything that deals with a community that he looks down on, and this is one that he will look down on. He ain't coming there, dude.
No,
because your comedy, the way his comedy works is he does sarcasm and put downs. That's his comedy. That's his style of comedy. So I'm like, why would I even let you come here? No, stay at home. I ain't paying you to come here.
It doesn't help that he also he's not into it. If he was into it, it would make more sense. But he's not into it. So it's like why are we dragging 2 years in a row? We drug this man here. Why?
And my thing is, if that's the case, just get Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's actually a gamer.
Yeah.
Nah,
you know what? Look, pay Snoop Dogg to be there. If y'all that desperate, pay Snoop Dogg.
Hey, at least he games.
He have to be up there talking about the games that he like to play between presents.
Yeah. And then he's gonna bring Martha Stewart with him too. For whatever reason.
Look, I'm pretty sure at this point Martha been playing video games too.
Probably
hanging with him.
Hey, Martha need to show up to have some video game snacks.
Could have her talk about how many times have we had a cooking video game pop up? You could literally have her talk.
She could have replaced Cooking Mama at this point. Yeah, Cooking Mama.
Zoe, you're right.
Ice-T. Yeah.
But Ice-T be putting people down in Call of Duty on Twitch all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
That's how there are people that enjoys the community that you could get instead of always having to get with people that, because I know the reason why he got Joel McHale because community. But I'm like, okay, but no, not him.
Nobody cares about him. Yeah. At least not within gaming. No one cares.
Right.
So there's that. But I think another thing, and I think because Vicky said it best, Jeff needs to stop hosting.
No, Jay Biggs. No.
It's not a time to be horny, Jay.
No. I get why.
She games. She does.
Why,
she does.
But no, not right now.
Nah.
Give her 3 or 4 years.
Give her some time. Space out.
Yeah, please, not right now.
Xenoblade Chronicles X. Yeah,
Cisco was playing. He
was on it.
He was on it. Him and Lady Gaga with Bayonetta, because when she found Bayonetta, she went down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, she did. 100%.
She was she went down the rabbit hole quick because she was all over Meverse and Twitter.
Oh yeah, she damn sure was.
She was all over Meverse. Because at first we thought it wasn't her. Yeah, at first we thought it was this is not her. This ain't her.
Thought it was somebody playing.
It is her. It's her. She went down that rabbit hole.
Jay Biggs, no, we are not doing it. She ain't gonna get skinny. She ain't gonna get skinny. But no,
Jay,
man.
Come on, man. You know good and well.
Y'all gotta let her album breathe for a while before anybody try to drag her in.
Yeah, let her get off on her own thing. You know what I'm saying? Let her get quiet, do some runs here and there with it. Get out of the space of music, because that's where you're gonna start bleeding over, and it's just gonna get bad.
Yes.
and currently right now it's not a good look because everybody's saying, "Oh, black people only getting into gaming because of Megan Thee Stallion."
Yeah. What? No, dude.
Bruh. We've been in the gaming, anime, cartoons, and stuff since well before she existed in the space.
There you go.
Yeah. Most of y'all just didn't pay attention.
Yeah. Like I said, she brought something to make you pay attention, but we've been here. We've been here.
Been here for a minute.
Yeah. All right, peeps, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming through. We appreciate you. Andre, got anything you want to pimp out?
I want to – I'm not going to say it because they'll probably kick me off the platform, but I just want YouTube to kind of get my boy back to his channel.
Yeah.
I want them to get him his channel back because that was just straight wrong. Play a game and get your channel taken down. He needs his channel back.
That's wild.
Yeah,
and that just shows how broken that the system is. If somebody can make a report, Somebody can report you, and you get immediately taken down with no reprieve or anything. That's a busted system.
Yeah,
that's a busted system that needs to be fixed.
So at least they're talking to him now. So need to find out what they said. But that wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't.
They gonna learn to hate me if his channel don't show back up. They gonna learn to hate me.
That goes to show like there is such a thing as being too big, right? Because when you get too big to where you can't interact with the people, that's where it gets bad. Because I'm pretty sure something from an algorithm or something from some system is what shut it down. Yeah, I don't think it was ever some human that just went and saw it and did it. Yeah.
So hopefully that gets resolved sooner rather than later.
Triple M, it was Sandstorm.
Yeah. So Jack, anything you want to pip out?
Same thing. Just support for Sandstorm. I know he was on Vitoverse last night. And just, like you said, he's in conversations with YouTube on getting it back up. But yeah, man, it's just weird because whenever I saw him post it, I'm like, Sandstorm, he don't do nothing. Like,
when I started, when he said that happened, I got immediately pissed off and put that video. I was like, nah.
I was like, okay.
Ain't no way in the world this man did anything that
I said, unless he spazzed out on somebody, say whatever. But I mean, whenever he gets, his channels back, make sure y'all go show him some love and support because I'm pretty sure it'll come back.
I'm expecting.
Outside of that, but other than that, everybody's already been doing. Continue to support the album. Is out there 100%. We should have something. I don't know if I want to release it at the end of the year or if not the start of next year, but definitely got the other one finished already. Just pending if I want to add some more stuff. But other than that, continue to follow the channel. Continue to like. I can't see the likes right now, but I'm pretty sure all y'all have not hit like. So please go ahead and do the likes right now. And just continue to support the channel, man.
Yep. Don't really have anything because I got some stuff coming up that I got to do personal life wise, so I don't really have a lot to post. I'm gonna try to do some live streams next week when I got a couple days off, and I will try to get ready because like I said, September gonna destroy my wallet. So
I'm aiming for two. I'm aiming for two because I have to get Astro. That's the only reason why I even got my PlayStation back. I got to get Astro. And then Bakaru came out of nowhere. Like,
Bakaru came out. I have a feeling that's going to be in my library.
Like that came out of nowhere because I know I saw it was like me, Blandrew, and there was like somebody else that was like, this needs to come to the West.
And the next thing you know,
it's there.
And then they dropped the release date. They give us a demo, and the release date is like coming soon. Like, hold on, dog.
And this is where it's hard to not root for digital. Because we didn't have to wait for physical on this. Yeah. They're doing one, but I'm like, I don't have to wait. I can just go and download it now. So it has its benefits, to have stuff digitally. But Astro and Bakaru, they got to get picked up, man.
Yeah. Mine's Bakaru, Echoes of Wisdom, and Renatus in September. And then I'm getting Yeast 10 and Sonic Shadow Generations in October.
They just hurting us, man.
Yeah.
Every time you turn around.
Hey, look, PlayStation Network is coming in the clutch this month though, because Hogwarts, the Quidditch game.
Yeah. I'm just holding that off. Yeah, I'm holding that off.
And then Push Squire, also PSN. So I'm like, y'all saving me. Y'all saving you, boy.
So y'all pray for my bank account. All right, so we will catch y'all next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So see y'all. Don't forget, like I said, like, share, subscribe, tell your folks if you love what we're doing, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out, people.
Peace.